There comes a moment in a woman's life when she has to make the hardest decision of all, to walk away from a man she deeply loves. Not because she wants to, but because she has to. Because his love is inconsistent. Because his actions don't match his words. Because staying would mean betraying herself. And let me tell you something powerful. When a woman walks away, not in anger, not in spite, but in quiet self-respect, she activates something sacred. She reclaims her worth. She allows the space her heart needs to finally breathe, to heal. But most importantly, she creates space for clarity, not just for herself, but for him. Part 1. The Power of Space. Why Walking Away Reveals the Truths. You see, sometimes love clouds our judgment. Constant access can create blindness. It's like standing right in front of the Empire State Building in New York City. It's so massive, yet when you're right up against it, you can't see its beauty. It's only when you step back that the full view comes into focus. And that's what happens in relationships. Sometimes, when you're always there for someone, they start to take you for granted. They can't see your value. Not because it isn't there, but because it's always available. When you walk away, you give both of you space to see clearly. Part 2. A Real Story. The Woman Who Walked Away Without Begging. There was a man, a preacher in his 20s, who had been dating a woman named Lisa for several years. He was struggling, unsure of whether he wanted marriage. His past was messy. He had never been faithful in any relationship before, and one day, in what he thought was honesty, he told Lisa, "I don't think I want to get married." Now, what he expected was resistance. He expected her to cry, to beg, to convince him to stay, like every other woman before her had. But Lisa simply said, "Okay." That's it. She didn't chase. She didn't negotiate. She didn't call him back. And just like that, she walked away from a man she loved because he wasn't loving her the right way. Years of their relationship, just like that, ended in one word. But what she left behind wasn't just silence. She left behind a mirror for him to finally see what he had lost. Part 3. What her silence created in him. Emotional clarity. Weeks passed, he didn't hear from her, and then whispers started to circulate. Lisa had moved on. She was dating again. Not just any man, but a professional athlete, handsome, wealthy, strong. Meanwhile, he was just a broke young preacher, with baggage and regrets, and now he was the one wondering, did she ever love me? But the truth was, she did. She had cried, she had suffered, she was heartbroken. But even in that heartbreak, Lisa chose her dignity over desperation, and that decision to walk away shook him. For the first time in his life, a woman walked away without begging, and in that moment he realized she was the only woman he had ever truly loved. She was the only woman he had ever been faithful to. He went to his mother, still confused. And his mother, wise as mothers often are, said to him, "Lisa's your wife. You're making a fool of yourself." So he prayed. He reflected. And in that stillness, he heard it clearly. "Lisa is your wife." He gathered his courage, picked up the phone, and called her. And she answered. Part 4. The Return. Why she chose him again. He asked her a question he didn't think she would say yes to. "Will you come back to me?" And despite the new man, the money, the muscles, she said yes. Why? Because their connection wasn't built on status or convenience. It was built on friendship, vision, faith, and a mutual standard of respect. And this time he didn't hesitate. He proposed. He married her. And they built a life based on what truly matters. Today, decades later, they are more in love than ever. And it all began with a woman brave enough to walk away. Part 5. The Truth About Thirstiness. Why desperation isn't love. Let's pause here and address something important. Thirstiness is not attractive. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, begging someone to love you, accepting poor treatment, or lowering your standards just to keep someone in your life, it erodes your self-worth. It teaches the other person how little they need to give to keep you. Healthy relationships are not built on begging. They are built on boundaries, on mutual pursuit, on respect. There's a difference between pursuing someone and chasing someone. A man who pursues you reads your energy, respects your boundaries, and meets your effort. He gives, but he never forces. He leans in when you welcome him and steps back when you don't. A man who chases ignores your boundaries, floods you with the fake affection, and often doesn't truly see you. He just wants to possess you. You deserve better than that. Part 6. Why so many women stay, and how to break the cycle. But here's the thing, we don't always walk away. Sometimes we stay, even when it hurts, even when we know it's wrong. Why? Because we're emotionally attached, because we believe in potential, because we've been manipulated. Narcissistic partners especially are masters at this. They'll hoover you back with fake apologies, grand gestures, or promises of change. They'll love bomb you, only to revert back to toxic behavior as soon as you come back. It's called toxic nostalgia. We cling to the good moments and erase the bad ones. But your healing requires no contact. That means no texts, no social media lurking, no just checking in. You need distance, emotional and physical. That's how you break the cycle. That's how you heal, because every time you go back to the wrong man, you block the right one from entering your life. The space in your heart is already occupied, and so the man who would truly love you, honor you, and build with you never finds room to land. Part 7. Self-love is the key. You attract what you become. So here's the truth you must hold on to, no matter your age, no matter your past, no matter your heartbreak. You don't have to settle. You don't have to beg. You don't have to accept crumbs when you were created to feast at a full table. Build your life. Love yourself fiercely. Learn to enjoy your own company. Find joy, beauty, and purpose without needing someone else to validate you. Because when you are whole, when you radiate self-respect, peace, and clarity, you will attract someone who matches that energy. You attract what you are. So if you're at that crossroads, if you're questioning whether it's time to walk away, listen closely to your heart. If he's not loving you the way you deserve, if you find yourself crying more than smiling, if you're staying out of fear and not faith, then know this. Walking away isn't weakness. It's the highest form of self-respect. And sometimes, walking away is the very thing that brings him back. Not just physically, but emotionally, spiritually, fully. But even if he never returns, you return to yourself. And that beautiful woman is the most powerful thing you can ever do.